You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, this is interesting. I don't know if you guys have taken note of the fact that the NCAA president had to come out and make comments because a guy that had played professional basketball overseas was now being allowed to come back over here and join, I think it's Baylor, and play for Baylor despite having been a professional basketball player. And he come out and basically said, yeah, that's okay as long as they hadn't signed an NBA contract. And by default, you're listening to that and you're going, okay, so really and truly, if anybody decided to try to push this with a lawsuit or however, you just said NFL players, as long as they're not under a contract, can go back to college. Because if you let it happen for the NBA, you can't tell NFL players no, or potential NFL players no. I mean, the amount of lawsuit there would be extraordinary. And we know Diego Pavia's involved in this lawsuit that he started. From my understanding, he's not trying to get further eligibility. At least I hope not. How many years you want to play? But there are other college players involved in this lawsuit he's involved with. I think Joey Aguilar, the quarterback at Tennessee, is one of the players there. And it sparked a lot of controversy. Now, in case you guys did not know this, I said, as Shedeur Sanders was dropping in the draft, and as Quinn Ewers was dropping in the draft, they should pull out of the draft and go back to school. Go back to college. They had eligibility left. You're dropping further than you thought you were going to drop. Go back. And a lot of people got mad over that. I wasn't the only one that suggested it. Mike Florio did. Several other people did. And because there was no way, if there was a lawsuit, it was going to get denied. You're not under a contract in the National Football League. And you've got eligibility left. And I said, as long as you are not drafted by a team, if you want to, like, in other words, you'd be sitting watching the NFL draft and Ian Rappaport would come on with a splash report. Rich Eisen, we're switching to Ian Rappaport right now because he's got an update on a player that's been dropping in the draft. My sources are telling me that Shedeur Sanders is choosing to go back and return to college as his draft stock has continued to drop. And there would be some kind of paperwork. He has sent the appropriate paperwork to the NFL and the NCAA, letting them know of his intentions. And he would be removed from draft consideration. All the teams would be, all it would take is about 30 seconds for everybody involved to know he's coming out. He's not going in the draft. He's going back to school. Same with Quinn Ewers. There was a heavy rumor out there that Quinn Ewers had an offer from an NCAA squad to come quarterback them for $8 million. I think his salary for all 4 years is a 7th round pick's about $4.5 million. But for $8 million, and the heavy rumor was it was for Bill Belichick in North Carolina. Well, what does their season look like if Quinn Ewers plays quarterback for him? I mean, Bill wins 3 more games because Gio Lopez was hot-ass garbage, and they lost a lot of games just because they couldn't offensively move the ball. I can't believe they're going to try to let him play quarterback again. So, enter in former NBA player Matt Barnes because he got some feelings on this. You see that, quote, old-ass NC2A players. I mean, and I went to look. I thought, you know what? How old, in fact, is Diego Pavia? And much to my surprise, I looked, he's only 23 years old. I thought he was going to be like Tyler Shuck. I thought he was going to be like 26 or 27. He's played so much damn college football. Look at that. He played all these years. This is the craziest thing you've ever seen. New Mexico State, junior, and then 3 years of senior football, of being a senior. And we're not talking about just a few snaps. Nearly 3,000 yards, 2,200 yards, 3,500 yards. Full-blown starting shit. 15 games, 13 games, 13 games. And by the way, he had 2 years as a JUCO cat. I don't blame Matt Barnes for coming out on this. Former NBA champion and all the smoke co-host Matt Barnes didn't hold back when it comes to what he sees as a growing loophole in college sports. It's here. It's officially here. You're going to see guys, either after they're drafted or before they're drafted, but before they've been signed to a NFL contract, decide to go back to school. That's going to happen. And his comments are landing right in the middle of the ongoing Diego Pavia eligibility debate. Barnes recently aimed at the NCAA for allowing a former professional basketball player to return to college and compete against much younger athletes. There's nothing more that I can't stand than grown-ass men playing college basketball. If I wanted to see grown-ass dudes that aren't good enough for the NBA, I'll go to the park. I'll go to the 24-hour fitness. That's good. That's good. That's crazy. I don't have anything against the actual grown men that are doing it because the rules are allowing it. Nothing against the college coaches because I understand what's at stake. So in other words, what his problem is, what's going on with the rules that are now allowing it to happen? His comments were sparked by Kyrie Walker, a former G League player who announced plans to enroll at a Division I school and use the college eligibility he bypassed years ago. Quote, once you take your amateur status pro, you shouldn't be able to come back and be playing with grown-ass men. Let's keep it real. These guys aren't good enough to play at the highest level. So if I can't play with grown men in the NBA overseas, let me go back and try to play with these kids and make money. It always comes back to this new NIL money, which is stupid as F to me, but I get it. I'm not blaming the players because it's a loophole that needs to be fixed. Yeah, it's crazy. After committing to Arizona State, he chose the professional route, spending time in the G League with the capital city Go-Go and playing overseas in Greece, Canada, and Mongolia. God. Wow. These comments arrive as college football faces a parallel fight over eligibility. Pavia, the Vanderbilt standout quarterback, is currently suing the NCAA along with other former JUCO players, arguing that eligibility limits unfairly restrict how long they can play at Division I levels. Pavia's case challenges the rules that count junior college seasons towards NCAA eligibility. By the way, this lawsuit has already locked on to the comments from the NCAA president about, well, as long as they never played in the NBA, well, that applies to, that's going to apply to football too. Not for a second is that not an automatic loss in court. Now, you can certainly question one thing. This whole thing's effed up. This whole thing is jacked up. But you're about to see potential NFL draftees. You know, some guy's going to get drafted in the 6th when And some of this is on the NFL too, because they bring these guys in, they give them an evaluation number. I think you're a second round pick. And then the poor kid looks up and he's drafted in the 6th round. And it's like, wait a minute, I decided to come out because you thought I was going to get, you projected me to the second. And there's been a lot of talk about the motherfuckers doing that. Oh, there it is. I dropped it. That are doing that aren't qualified to be doing that. Eval. This is happening. This is going to happen. Oh, this guy, yeah, he got drafted in the 6th. He was supposed to be in the 2nd. He's pulling out of the draft, or he's going back to school. He's got a year eligibility left. He has not signed an NFL contract. And by the way, make more money. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.